For example, tuberculosis for example, if you take it, right now India has set a goal by 2025 we'll get rid of tuberculosis. The basic test that is done for tuberculosis around the world is called Manto's test. If you and me go for a test, any Indian goes for a test, we will all show positive. We all have tuberculosis bacilli, but we don't have the disease. But all Indians have it. So, the tuberculosis bacilli, we want to eliminate by 2025, but they're all living with us and we have no issue, most of us. Only if its concentration goes to a certain point, it becomes a disease. Otherwise, almost all Indians carry this quite normally. If the same level of bacilli happens to, let's say, an American or a European person, they will fall sick. We are not falling sick because we have lived with that for so long. So that is what we are looking for as a solution, that's what herd immunity means, that at some point we may get used to the virus. But before that, how many lives will it take? This is not a decision that you make, it may go that way, unfortunately.
Okay, an interesting question I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, Sadhguru. This thing where you speak about Ramayana, Mahabharata and all our so-called mythology now, everybody has a different connotation to whether it happened or didn't happen.
No, that argument is only in Chennai. Whether it happened or not.
These are beliefs, I do not want to get into it, but you said something very interesting when it came to all these epics or mythologies, however you seem to believe. You said there is so much to learn rather than testing the authenticity of whether it happened or not happened. Right. Do we have anything tracing back to those times in order to deal with such a situation that we are in right now?
See, the advantage that those times had was, the concentration of population has never been like this, okay? So if it did happen, let us say it happened in Ayodhya, it would not come to Chennai for sure. Only Rama came, he should have brought, but 14 days quarantine would have happened by the time he walked down.
I mean, he walked through the Ram Setu dam the thing as well, so it must have gone there as well, not a problem.
No, by the time he walked from Ayodhya to Tamil Nadu border, more than 14 days, so quarantine was over.
And he must have traveled, he must have walked through, right?
Yes, by foot. So it would have taken months, so by then it was over. It's because of air travel. It is essentially because of air travel, so quickly it's across the world.
Right. In fact, I felt like I came into India from New Zealand in March when the virus was actually hitting through the Singapore and the Chinese region and going into America and all that. At that point of time, it didn't feel like, all of us were sitting inside the zone of saying, you know what, it will not happen in India. There is so much heat, there is so much, in fact, rightly put, so much ignorance amongst the people. Sometimes we believe we shut our eyes inside a closed room and believe there is nothing happening wrong. Even today, I was talking to a couple of my cricketing colleagues and they happen to say, it's become normal. We have to deal with it like cold and fever. We are not yet there, right?
No. See, young people may deal with it just as cold and fever. That too if they're, if they have a sturdy constitution. But that's not how it is. People are just falling dead all over the place. When nearly 500,000 people have died, you can't say it's cold and fever. But at the same time, every year, influenza in America kills 50,000–60,000 people, like this. But this is not going to pass like that virus. This can continue and come back in waves and waves. It is possible, but we still don't know. I have a gut feeling in India, by mid-September, towards the end of September, it will be largely gone and our economic activity will be back to normal. It may not be where it was a few months ago, but in terms of activity, it will be back. But I have no data, not an iota of data to support my gut feeling. There's no data.
No, gut feeling is the best feeling that we all can have in terms of reassurance. But just on another note, Sadhguru, I saw some article and some video where I'm sure you're aware of Leonardo DiCaprio, who's doing a lot of things with regards to climate change. He had put out a tweet and an Instagram post saying a lot of people who have been affected by pollution over the years are tending to receive this virus in a very, very, detrimental fashion. Is this virus in any way relation of what we have done? You said there is something funny about it. Any relation to what we have done to the environment and how we have, just polluted and populated it all over the place? Is it our doing?
Population is definitely our doing. Pollution is also our doing. All right, is there any doubt about it? No.
Anything other than that, environmentally, how we have, not respected nature over the years?
See, right now, one of the major reasons why people are dying because of the virus is hypoxia. That means not enough oxygen in the system, so lungs collapse after some time, whatever happens, other systems fail. In a way, if you're living in an Indian city, or let's say any big city, particularly Indian cities, in many ways you are heading towards hypoxia if you just travel on the, let's say Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore roads for 1 or 2 hours every day, in open, suppose your car is not air-conditioned and you're open, like on a two-wheeler or you're just walking, then definitely the oxygen levels in your blood will be lower than what it should be. So definitely you are moving into that vulnerable population region. Maybe not necessarily, but you're in the direction at least, for sure. It may vary from individual to individual, but when you live in this kind of atmosphere where oxygen levels are low, carbon monoxide and other particulate matter is heavy, definitely your pulmonary system is not at the same level as it should be. So you are becoming a vulnerable population. Even now you're seeing almost 70% of the cases are just in 5-6 cities in the country probably, about 10 to 12 cities maximum. Rest of the country doesn't have it, the rural population doesn't really have it. And one more thing that I've constantly been telling in the ashram, everybody is practicing right now, is to stay in touch with the earth. If you stay in touch with the earth, your immune system is always many times stronger than other people. So this is one of the treatments we do for all the patients who come. I must tell you this situation. We used to… earlier, now we are calling it Rejuvenation Center, but at one time we used to call this Isha Yogic Hospital. There was a hospital. So about 10-12 doctors from Michigan area, from the Ford medical system, they came here because they were very interested in the yogic hospital. So I couldn't meet them, they were here for about 3 days and I'm talking many years ago, like about 22 years ago or so. So they came and after the third day, it seems they got very angry, they called me in the morning and said, Sadhguru, their doctors are all very upset, they want to leave right away. I said, what is the issue? We said, we don't know, they're screaming and yelling. I went to meet them. Then I said, what is the problem? They said, you said there is a yogic hospital. We walked around everywhere in the center, there is no hospital here. Oh, I said, okay, your idea of a hospital is that there must be beds, people must be lying down, somebody must be serving them. If you provide that kind of hospitality, nobody will get well. See, children always like to fall sick. How old are your children, huh?
They're about 5 and 3.5.
Yeah, that 3.5 guy, watch him, because they like to fall sick. Because when they are sick, everybody does mo, poo, 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 poo and all that. They love it, okay? Every child learns at an early age that if you are unwell, if you are miserable, if you cry, you get lots of attention. If you're happy, joyful, screaming and you're dancing around, you don't get attention. This is a thing that every family has to change. So I said, no, that's not the way it is. I had about 110 people on that day who are going through some treatments. I said, see, in this hospital, we wake them at 5 o'clock, 5:30 they have to be there for the sadhana, 8 o'clock sadhana is over, then I put them to work in the garden or in the kitchen or somewhere else where they have to use their hands and everything, and they may get little more rest than others, that's it, they're under medication and practices, but they have to be involved, and especially with the earth, they must be involved. Then I took them around and made them meet all the people who were working in the garden. Our patients were all working hard. So they will want to get well if you make them work hard, always.
Because you said that you need to be in touch with earth, I'm asking this. There are two schools of medical treatment, it's not two, maybe more than that.